Today, we rank the 18 true luxury EVs from the god-tier elites down to the financial suicide pretenders. It's going to be fun because I'm going to reveal god-tier engineering that is actually worth the six-figure price tag, as well as the financial suicide traps, including one $200,000 supercar that is built with Dodge Dart parts, and a startup EV that is currently bricking itself in people's driveways because the company doesn't exist anymore to update the software. Let's start with the absolute peak of status and engineering. The Rolls-Royce Spectre is the only car on this list where the price tag is merely a suggestion. Technically, it starts at $422,000, but once you add the bespoke umbrella and the starlight doors, almost nobody leaves the factory for under $500,000. Underneath that massive body, it actually uses an outdated 400-volt architecture, while cheaper rivals have moved on to faster systems. Rolls-Royce stuck to the old standard because, as they famously put it, their owners don't wait at chargers, their drivers do. That is the ultimate flex. The silence is the real engineering marvel here, using a massive 102 kilowatt-hour battery and hundreds of pounds of insulation to create a cabin that feels less like a car and more like a sensory deprivation tank. The only downside is the depreciation, because you are essentially lighting a Porsche 911 on fire just to drive this for a year. But at this level of wealth, you probably don't care. If Rolls-Royce is about silence, Lucid is about violence. This is the Air Sapphire. It was built by the engineers who left Tesla because they wanted to build something that actually works. I mean, actually. It costs $249,000 and generates 1,234 horsepower, launching to 60 miles per hour in a sickening 1.89 seconds. It runs on a 900-volt architecture, which is, by the way, the highest in the industry. It is arguably the most advanced electric powertrain on Earth, embarrassing gas-powered hypercars that cost 10 times as much. However, the catch here is that you are paying $250,000 to be a beta tester. We are seeing reports of thermal throttling, where the car reduces power after a few hard launches to save the battery. Plus, Lucid is still burning cash. Buying this car is basically a donation to their R&D department. On average, it's the best EV on Earth, if the company survives long enough to service it. Finally, we have the new definition of American excess, the Escalade IQ. Forget the lyric. This is the real flagship. It weighs over 9,000 pounds. That is not a car, that is a tectonic plate. It packs a massive 200-plus kilowatt-hour battery, giving it a range of 460 miles. Whereas inside, it has a 55-inch curved screen that spans the entire dashboard. And it features a rival mode, which lets the car crab walk diagonally into a parking spot just to show off. But let's talk financial reality. GM's electric trucks are depreciation disasters. This starts around $130,000, but give it 3 years and it will likely drop like a stone. It is the ultimate suburban fortress, but your wallet will feel every single pound of it. Now that we've seen the toys for billionaires, let's look at the smart money, the cars that actually justify the price tag. This is the sleeper hit of the entire list. The Genesis Electrified GV70 starts at $67,000, and frankly, it embarrasses the German competition. While brands like BMW are still stuck using older charging technology, Genesis gave this SUV an 800-volt architecture, meaning you can charge from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes. The standout feature here is actually inside the cabin, where they made the revolutionary decision to keep physical buttons for the climate controls instead of burying them in a touchscreen like a psychopath. The only real compromise is the buying experience itself. You are paying for a premium luxury vehicle, but you often have to buy and service it at a Hyundai dealership, sitting next to a guy buying a used Elantra. If you can swallow that pride, this is arguably the smartest EV purchase on the market. Next is the Porsche Taycan 4S, which remains the absolute benchmark for how an electric car should drive. It features a unique 2-speed transmission on the rear axle, a piece of engineering magic that allows it to launch violently off the line while still hitting high top speeds without running out of breath. It was the pioneer of the 800-volt charging system, setting the standard that everyone else is still trying to catch. The problem is the infamous Porsche tax. The $111,000 base price is a total lie because basic features like heated seats cost extra, and simply adding a colored crest to the wheels will set you back hundreds of dollars. It is a spectacular machine to drive, but financially, it is painful, with early models losing nearly half their value in 3 years. While the Porsche is for drivers, the BMW i7 is for passengers. We chose this over the smaller i5 because of one specific feature: the theater screen. This is a massive 31-inch 8K display that drops down from the ceiling, effectively turning the back seat into a rolling cinema, which actually creates an experience that rivals a private jet, making it the ultimate vehicle for high-end Uber Black drivers or executives who refuse to drive themselves. The styling is controversial, looking somewhat like an angry beaver from the front, but the technology inside is undeniable. It is heavy, expensive, and polarizing, but if your priority is being driven rather than driving, nothing else comes close. Now let's move to the hype traps. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, the Tesla Cybertruck. This is not a car, it is a cultural Rorschach test. It looks like a dumpster from 2077, features bulletproof panels, and uses steer-by-wire technology that makes driving a full-size truck feel like playing a video game. But the hype train has derailed. Early owners are reporting rust spots on stainless steel, panel gaps you can lose a finger in, and critical component failures within weeks of delivery. The financial reality has also shifted. The flip market is dead. You can no longer buy one and sell it for a profit the next day. Now, you are just buying a depreciating steel triangle that screams for attention, whether good or bad. Next is the R1S from Rivian, the official status symbol of the Patagonia vest crowd. It sells the dream of adventure better than anyone else, featuring a flashlight in the door, a camp kitchen, and a quad-motor setup that can crawl over rocks that would even destroy a Range Rover. It is genuinely capable. However, the reality check comes in winter. In freezing temperatures, that advertised 400-mile range can plummet to around 240 miles, which is a serious problem when you are overlanding far from a charger. Plus, service centers are still scarce. If this thing breaks down in the mountains, you aren't an explorer anymore. Then there is the Mercedes EQS. It is a proven reality that heritage doesn't guarantee success. This was supposed to be the electric S-Class, the pinnacle of luxury. Instead, they designed something that looks like a melted bar of soap. I mean, literally it is. Inside, you get the hyperscreen, which looks futuristic until you realize it is a fingerprint magnet that distracts you from the road. But the real disaster is financial. Because the design has zero presence, demand has collapsed. These cars lose about $50,000 in value the moment you drive them off the lot. And if you thought those were risky, welcome to the graveyard. The cars that will actively destroy your bank account. And Polestar 3 is at this point in the list. Now, Polestar owners get really defensive when you call this a Volvo, but let's be real, it's a Volvo. I mean, it is built on the same platform as the EX90, but it went to art school and came back wearing a black turtleneck. Don't get me wrong, it is beautiful. The minimalist interior is stunning, but you are paying a heavy cool tax. It also uses older charging tech and carries a premium price tag just for the vibe. Essentially, you are paying $10,000 extra for the privilege of explaining to your confused friends at dinner parties that no, it's actually a standalone performance brand, which is arguably a weaker point. Next up is the Maserati GranTurismo Folgore. From the outside, this car is a masterpiece. It has 3 motors, it's gorgeous, and it costs over $200,000, but then you open the door. I sat in one, reached for the window switch, and immediately recognized the plastic. That switch was seemingly identical to the Dodge Dart. And if we talk about the infotainment screen, well, that's straight out of a Jeep. In short, this is the ultimate parts bin special. You are paying supercar money for rental car buttons. An owner once told me I bought an Italian suit with dirty underwear. But that is just one aspect. The depreciation here is going to be catastrophic. Gas Maseratis already lose half their value in 3 years, and this electric one will likely be worth $80,000 before you finish paying off the sales tax. And finally, the Fisker Ocean is at the end of our financial suicide list. This is the ultimate cautionary tale. The Ocean originally started at $69,000. Well, if you find today, you can find them on used lots for $10,000. There is only one reason the Fisker is bankrupt. The company literally does not exist anymore. Owners are currently forming hacker collectives to crack their own cars just to keep the air conditioning running because the official servers are offline. The key fobs stop working, the hoods are sealed shut, and there is no service department to even call. Buying a Fisker right now isn't buying a car, it is buying a 4,000-pound lawn ornament that reminds you never to pre-order from a startup. Okay, shake off the depression from that last section. Let's look at the future. The 3 cars worth waiting for in 2026. First is the Rivian R2. This is the baby Rivian everyone has been asking for. Starting around $45,000, it shrinks the cool factor of the R1S into a package that normal people can actually afford. It features a structurally integrated battery and a rear window that rolls down, which is a great party trick. But the stakes here are massive. This is Rivian's Model 3 moment. If this car succeeds, they become a major player. If it fails or gets delayed, the entire company might not survive. You aren't just waiting for a car, you are waiting to see if the brand lives. Lucid Gravity. If the Air sedan were a land missile, this is the spaceship. It is a proper 7-seater SUV that promises over 440 miles of range, which finally makes it a legitimate road trip machine. It is the first real competitor to the Tesla Model X that doesn't have falcon wing doors that break or look like a melted jelly bean, like the Mercedes. With this, Lucid has mastered the tech. Now they just need to prove they can build an SUV that families actually want to live with. For years, BMW has been lazy, stuffing heavy batteries into gas car platforms. But BMW Neue Klasse changes everything. This is a massive reset, a dedicated, pure EV architecture designed from scratch that is launching with 2 vital cars, the iX3 SUV for the masses and the i3 sedan to replace the legendary 3 Series. BMW is promising 30% more range and charging speeds that will finally rival Porsche. They even claim they have essentially re-engineered how a car corners using entirely new software. It is BMW finally admitting that the future isn't hybrid, it's electric. If you have been holding off on buying an EV because you don't want to drive an iPad on wheels, these are the driver's cars worth waiting for. If you still think Chinese cars are cheap knockoffs, meet the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra. Yes, the phone company made a car and it is humiliating Porsche on its home turf. It packs 1,548 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in 1.97 seconds, and laps the Nürburgring faster than a Bugatti. It is pure, unfiltered speed for half the price of a Taycan Turbo GT. And if we talk about the interior, integrates seamlessly with your phone and smart home, making Apple CarPlay look like Windows 95. This is truly a moment when the student became the master. Next in line is the Sony Afeela. This is not a car for drivers, it is a car for gamers. Built by Sony and Honda, it features a massive media bar on the front bumper that can display messages to pedestrians. And the interior is basically a rolling PlayStation 5. You can literally play GranTurismo on the dashboard while the car drives itself. It won't set lap records, but it is betting that in 2026, people care more about their digital life than their 0 to 60 time. So there you have it. The EV market is the Wild West right now. The technology moves so fast that today's God tier is tomorrow's dinosaur. Now I have a question for you. Which of these luxury brands do you think will go bankrupt by 2030? Drop your Deadpool predictions in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe for more brutal car reviews. I'll see you in the next one.